When Isaac heard Charlie say that he wanted to keep Shoud and Steve Hogwarts, he immediately exclaimed, "Master, Steve, fortunately, he should not bring many people from the United States this time. But Shoud has hired dozens of security personnel, and the masters hidden behind him I don't know how many. It's a bit difficult to catch him," Charlie said calmly. "It doesn't matter, there are no impervious pants in this world. To grab Shoud and Walter, I will be enough." As he said, a person suddenly flashed in his mind, so he immediately changed his words. "No, let's add another person." Isaac stood up immediately and said without hesitation, "Master, I am willing to be with you." Charlie smiled and said seriously, "Old man, you are courageous, but you are still a little bit weak in strength. Maybe you haven't gotten close to Shoud, you have been discovered by his hidden men in the dark." Isaac said awkwardly, "Master, if you don't dislike it, I will try my best from now on." Charlie smiled and said, "It's definitely too late to practice caution now." Isaac hurriedly asked, "When do you plan to do it? If I need to do something on my side, I will prepare in advance." Charlie said, "Hurry up, I want to do it tonight, otherwise if they focus on Doris, this matter will be a little tricky." After speaking, Charlie said again, "Let me call Doris first and let her work overtime at the company today. In that case, I will do it tonight." Immediately afterwards, Charlie took out his mobile phone and called Doris. As soon as the phone was connected, Doris's voice came over. "Master." Charlie gave a hum and asked her, "Doris, where are you now?" Doris respectfully said, "Master, I am in Hong Kong." "Hong Kong?" Charlie asked curiously, "Why did you go to Hong Kong?" Doris explained, "In recent years, Hong Kong real estate has been declining, and our mainland market is very competitive. Therefore, Emgrand Group plans to develop a commercial real estate project with the Shu family in Hong Kong. I just came over here this morning to prepare for further discussions with them." After speaking, Doris hurriedly asked, "Master, were you looking for me?" Charlie smiled slightly and said, "You don't have anything to worry about. Since you are not in Orus Hill now, wait until you come back." Doris had no choice but to say, "Well, young master, if there is anything anxious, please tell me, I can fly back anytime." Charlie said hurriedly, "No need, just stay in Hong Kong." Doris didn't know what Charlie meant, so she said, "Okay master, then I will concentrate on discussing cooperation in Hong Kong these days. If you need me to come back, please inform me at any time." "It is good." After hanging up the phone, Charlie breathed a sigh of relief. Doris happened to be not in Orus Hill, so this matter was not so anxious. If this is the case, it's better to closely monitor Shoud and Steve first to see what kind of medicine the two people, especially Shoud, is selling in the gourd. But Charlie didn't plan to give the two of them too long. Within 2 or 3 days, let them evaporate directly in the Orus Hill world. At this time, Isaac saw Charlie hung up, and hurriedly asked, "Master, Miss Doris has gone to Hong Kong." "Yes." Charlie smiled slightly. "It's a coincidence, she just left this morning." Isaac asked again, "Then when are you going to act on Shoud and Steve?" Charlie thought for a while, and said, "For these 2 days, first observe the two of them and see what actions they have." After speaking, Charlie further ordered, "Old man, you have the widest network in Orus Hill. You must give it to me and keep an eye on them. No matter where they have been or who they have met, report to me as soon as possible." Isaac said without hesitation, "Master, don't worry, I will make arrangements." Charlie nodded, and said with a little regret, "Why didn't the two of them choose to stay in your hotel?" Isaac smiled and said, "Master, that Walter lived in the Orus Hill International Hotel before he disappeared. It is normal for his father to live there. As for Shoud, the Sue family knows that this is the property of the Wade family. How could he come here to stay?" Charlie asked curiously, "With such a large property in the Sue family, he didn't buy any property in Orus Hill?" Isaac shook his head and said, "The Sue family had a negotiation with the Wade family a few years ago. The two parties agreed on the commercial development of the two sides. In the city selected by the Su family, the Wade family would not buy a home. The reverse is also true. It was within the territory selected by the Wade family, so the Su family did not engage in industry here. Charlie asked him, "Then what is the basis for dividing the business territory of the two parties?" Isaac said, "It was your grandfather and Changfeng who had a face-to-face meeting. After all, the strength of the two families is similar, and their businesses are blooming everywhere. He didn't want to continue to fight in second-tier cities, so they privately defined a range. For example, in the southeast capital cities, Oruz Hill is the Wade family, and Suhong is the Su family territory. In the final analysis, the Su family has a stronger voice. When dividing the business map, all the materials of Suzhou and Hangzhou were significantly better than those of Oruz Hill. Therefore, the Su family first picked Suhong away and left Oruz Hill to Wades. Understood. Charlie nodded slightly, and then asked, "Then since Ragnar Wu is the richest man in Suhong, why didn't he hear of anything to do with the Su family?" Isaac smiled and said, "You see, the Song family is the richest in Oruz Hill, and it has nothing to do with the Wade family." After speaking, Isaac continued to explain, "In fact, the main purpose of the Su-Wade family's delineation is to avoid competition between the two sides, which is equivalent to a gentleman's agreement. However, local families are generally deeply entrenched. It is very difficult for us to confront the local snakes, or even crush each other. After all, most of the strength of the two families is still concentrated in Eastcliff. China is so big, and the strength that everyone can spread across the country is not that strong. Whether it is the Wade family or the Su family, the total assets that can be invested in other cities in China are only hundreds of billions of dollars. However, in addition to Eastcliff, there are 3 first-tier cities in the country, and second-tier cities like Oruz Hill are even bigger. So on average, the human, material, and financial resources that can be invested in each city are not large. After all, I'm in Oruz Hill, which means I just guard the Wade family's stronghold in Oruz Hill." After speaking, Isaac said again, "Just like the Wade family, if you don't count the Emgrand group that was bought for you, young master, then the Wade family in Oruz Hill, and it doesn't actually have much business. The main part of the Wade family in Oruz Hill is the hotel. In addition, there are several security companies that do not seem to have any relationship on the surface. Then they participated in some projects. The total assets in Oruz Hill add up scattered. It's only around 1 or 2 tens of billions, which is far behind the Song family's 100 billion assets. My most important task over the years is not to help the Wade family make money in Oruz Hill, but to help the Wade family develop contacts, networks, and a complete intelligence system in Oruz Hill, turning Oruz Hill into a component of the Wade family's neural network. It's like a tentacle of an octopus, and I can report any disturbance to the Wade family in time." Speaking of this, Isaac couldn't help but laughed at himself and said, "Actually, if it were not for the young master you were in Oruz Hill, the Wade family would not pay much attention to the situation here. There are many spokespersons like me in the Wade family all over the country. Those who really have a strong voice are the spokespersons of 3 first-tier cities." Charlie nodded. "I understand, since the Su family has no foundation in Oruz Hill, it is more proactive for us." Isaac agreed and said, "Yes, when the Su family is here, even if there is an emergency, it will only take a few hours to dispatch troops from Eastcliff temporarily." After speaking, he asked again, "By the way, Master, if the time is right and you are ready to do something with them, do you have any suitable helper?" Charlie nodded and smiled. "Of course, in this regard, I already have the most suitable candidate in my heart." Isaac asked, "Who is it?" Charlie said with a smile, "Ruoli."